All right. Good. We've got our live stream up. So, all right. Today is Wednesday. What do you know? It's Wednesday. We're having the Meshery Dev Meeting. And we have the Meshery Dev Meeting every Wednesday. So yeah, it's Wednesday, but it's October 11th. And so, hey, welcome everybody. Let's talk about Meshery and let's talk about some things related to Meshery. If you're on the call, a couple of housekeeping items. If you don't mind, drop your name into the meeting minutes here. And if you're not on the call, you can drop your name here under sends regrets. If you don't list your name, we just can't include you in our end of year raffle for $10 billion. That'll be a shame. All right. Also, if you're on the call and you have some things, you have questions or just things to discuss, whether it's community or related or project related, or whether you're contributing or using or just a bystander, the agenda is yours. This time is for you, for us all, for we all. As we dive into the topics, I don't think we have announcements today. So we'll move into topics. And before we do, we'll just take a quick look around the room, check the person to your right, look at the person to your left, maybe even in front of you. If you don't know them yet, we should change that. Let's say hi. By the way, so we're not going to go all the way around the room. Only those lucky few first timers on this call, they get the pleasure of awkwardly introducing themselves and saying hi. And so, hey, my name's Lee. I'm calling you from Austin, Texas. And I really like Meshery. And I'm hoping to be able to help and do some things. I use Meshery and raise some bugs sometimes. So that's my intro. And so I wonder if we have some people who are on the call for the first time that might want to say hi. Everybody could get to know you a little bit. Anybody out there?
You can say a hi here from my end. Hi, so I'm just Sriram from Chennai, India, joining Meshery for the first time. Like I'm the first timer in this meeting. I'm just trying to contribute to the Hacktoberfest this time around. That's it.
Oh yeah, nice. That's a good goal. And you've got plenty of time yet too. So that's great, Sriram. Nice, Chennai. All right, very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Who else? Who else do we have hasn't said hi before? It's one of those things, like there's a lot of you on the call, all of you that have been here before. It's like you're old news, so we don't need to spend time talking about you. But new folks, anybody else not said hi? Anybody else just like thinking about turning on their webcam, but just a little bit too shy, not really sure if, I can like mess up my hair if that helps anyone feel more comfortable, in case,
Yeah.
Shiv.
Hi Lee. I recently joined Layers 5 community and contributed to a recent bug related to UI UX. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And about the setting up the Layers 5 in local development. I didn't set it up in local development. Instead, I use Git pod, which is easier to develop Layers 5 and easier to create PR requests in Git pod.
Nice. That's a great. Do you work at Gitpod by chance?
Thank you.
Oh, great. Yeah, Shiv, great to have you, man. I'll let. I was just talking with Gitpod's leadership a month ago, and I'll let them know that you've given them a good plug on the call. Good. I'm just messing with you. Yeah, great. We had the product manager for GitHub Codespaces present at one of our community meetings a few months ago. And yeah, those are really convenient environments. By the way, in case this is probably known to many folks, but just to the extent that it isn't, I rarely use it. I tend to forget that sometimes it's really convenient. If you're on, I think that this is universally true, I think, and it's kind of related to Gitpod and related to code spaces. If you're on a repo and you hit the period key, well, you get redirected to github.dev and you go into like a web-based VS Code like web editor, which has some perks. I don't know, some of you already knew that. So, but great. All right, so Shiv and Sriram and Shatil. Have you said hi before, Shatil?
Yeah, Lee, I have been here for about 4 weeks. So yeah, I have said hi quite a few times. And I am currently working on some of my PRs. I did face some issues on my previous PR, especially I wasn't able to commit my changes to my repository. But I think, yeah, that is resolved, and I am working on UX issue right now. And I have actually knocked on some of the members who are working on UX and asked for their suggestions on what I can add to my UX designs and some icon designs as well. So yeah, that's what I'm working on right now, and I'll update them pretty soon. Yeah. So thanks for
Oh,
mentioning
nice.
me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Shatil, you're the one that had volunteered to work on the profile for the GitHub for Meshery.
Yeah. That's the one. Yeah. So yeah, I wasn't sure what to add to the page first of all, but I did have a few ideas, and I was thinking about some dynamic elements on the page, like a dynamic issue count or the number of contributors on the Meshery project, something like that. But yeah, so I am still going around and asking for suggestions to people, and yeah, I am still working on it, specifically on the design. And if anyone wants to help on the design, that would be really appreciated. If anyone wants to get in and get some ideas into the page or some other components, just anything, ideas, suggestions, everything is accepted. And yeah, so I hope more people would contribute, and I will continue to work on my PRs. And I am focusing on like I was contributing to Hacktoberfest issues as well. Yeah, the most of the issues I'm assigned are tagged with Hacktoberfest, I think. So that's this is my first Hacktoberfest also. So that's actually very exciting because I've always wanted to be part of Hacktoberfest. And yeah, I'm really happy that I'm doing this Hacktoberfest with the Layer 5 community, because this is a very friendly community and a very welcoming community. Most of all, most of the maintainers and all of the meshmates, they are very supportive and very active towards all the new contributors. And yeah, I am just happy that I chose this community to contribute to open source. So yeah, thank you
Yeah.
everyone for having me. And
Yeah,
yeah,
damn it.
so I'll
Yeah.
update.
Yeah, damn it. We are very welcoming. That's right. Son of
Yeah.
a. I just, oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know my mic was on. It was good. Well, Shatil, anything else you'd like to add? I mean, did you leave anything out by chance?
I have that's pretty much it for me. But I do have a few things to add actually. So let me just
Oh, no.
check my
Oh,
issues.
okay.
Just
Oh,
one small thing.
yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah. I sorry. I should have said, I'm going to,
Yeah. No,
it
I
was
have.
facetious.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have actually contacted one of the.
Just
I have
one
contacted.
second. Just
Yeah.
just one
Sure.
second. Just okay, perfect. Thank you. I'm sorry. It was a facetious rhetorical remark, and I should have let the sarcasm drip off of that question a little more
No,
thickly.
sorry. Yeah. Totally okay.
Okay. Yeah, hold on to those two items if you would. And let's circle back. I'd actually drop them onto the
Yeah.
agenda. Okay, good. So by the way, for everybody that's here, and whether you're actively using the projects or contributing to them, or something that Shatil was just mentioning is that, and speaking of GitHub features, if you go to a GitHub organization, in this case, Meshery, the organizations have the option of presenting a singular README that presents sort of that's representative of the org and all of the repos and things that go on inside. And right now, the Meshery org isn't using one, but it has the option to. This is a different org. And here's an example of just a README that sort of represents some of the projects and activities and community and things. And so Shatil had volunteered to help create this README. And he's just got done calling for other people to engage with him to help. He's got a couple of ideas, but he's asking for help. He's asking for collaborators. So please jump
so
in.
it would be helpful to have more ideas put into the project. So that would really help to enhance the efficiency of the page, of the profile page. Yeah.
Nice. Good. So we've got our first topic up, and it's from Mr. Kiptoon. It's from Daniel. It has to do with Mesh Sync, and I think even the Meshery operator as well. And so with no further ado, Daniel, you want to take it away with our first topic?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. I'll start from giving the problem and then the solution. So we have two major services. We have the Meshery operator and you have the Mesh Sync. The Mesh Sync observes and listens to whatever is happening within the system and then reports that information. So it has come to be that the Mesh Sync is observing a little too much, and by that it's making the system sort of overloading the Meshery server. So we needed a dynamic way of configuring what should and should not be listened to. So in the Meshery, it's a two-step process. We need the Meshery operator to extend the custom resource definition to include configurations that is typically used by the Mesh Sync service, and then use that as a way of dynamically configuring the Mesh Sync operator, the Mesh Sync service. Okay, so to achieve that, basically you have two things that Mesh Sync does. It listens and it also subscribes to given events. So what I have done is I've extended the Mesh Sync custom resource definition to add configuration for what Mesh Sync should listen to and what Mesh Sync should subscribe to. So this is what it listens to, and this is what it subscribes to. So I added that additional, and the key thing to look at is now in a sample configuration file that can be used in conjunction with this will have a section called config with the listener configs and the pipeline configs. So essentially we'll be adding and deleting from this list to determine what Mesh Sync will listen to and what it won't listen. In order also to achieve this, I had to do some other housekeeping chores because of a package that was updated, the Mesh Kit. It was going to version 1.21 of Golang. So I had to do that in this particular PR. So it's a mesh of several things. So whenever for the reviewers, if you see any changes in terms of the version of Golang, it's because of that, because Mesh Kit required 1.21. So I had to update the operator as such. So and also appropriate changes to the Git workflows to use version 1.21 of Golang. So, and then I move over to the second part, which is now for the mesh sync. So for mesh sync, the changes that I did here was I have functionality to get the configs from the custom resource that is in the cluster. If not, I default back to what was there before. So yeah, so I get what is in the CRD in the custom resource. If not, if present, I'll substitute that to what it will listen to. Otherwise, it continues with the same feedback that with the same cycle that it already had. Okay. The one thing that now remains, and I could get feedback on whether we should do it or not. So essentially, the whole reason why you have a custom resource definition is we want to maintain the different states. If it's added, we do appropriate actions. If it's updated or deleted, we do appropriate actions. Now, as it stands, what Mesh Sync will only pick the configs the first time. When it boots up, that's when it will pick the configs. And then throughout its whole life cycle, it will maintain the same configuration. Now, the point that maybe it could be an addition to this is periodically, it could sync back to check for the custom resource if anything has changed, and then do appropriate listening and subscribing to, if so. Welcome to my TED Talk. Thank you. Any feedback?
Super. Pranav, do you have thoughts on this? Is Mr. Singh with us, Pranav? He might not be.
Actually, my mic was muted, so yeah. I was just looking at the PR and it looks actually good because now we can configure different things directly from Meshery server and then get meshing, do the things which Meshery wants to, rather than just being default to the default thing that we have currently. So it looks actually good now. So we would actually, I think in future now expose these into Meshery UI so that we can get these options right in the UI. So yeah.
Good. Yeah, perfect. Good. I've looked at the PR just as long as Daniel has had it up. And so wonderful. I've got, that's a great point, Pranav, about the configurability of the custom resource definition from, well, from a couple of locations, and actually is Abu on? There's a new community member. He's been working on Kubernetes specific documentation for Meshery. I'm gonna go Vivek or Sarah, would you guys, or Noreen, do you guys mind pinging Abu something?
I did, but he's not able to join us today.
Okay, yes, that's too bad for him. Well, good. So Daniel, there's some, do we know what the default config is for the, I'm not sure I'm going to use the right terminology, either for the listener, for the things that MeshSync is going to listen to?
Yes, there's a file on the code. Okay, I know this would be going too far, but I can post the link to what is the default configuration. Cool. Yeah, so that we don't. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. And then you'd said you had accounted for falling back to that, to the extent that MeshSync tries to, listen for a few things, or to the extent that it tries to read from the custom resource definition. If for some reason that's corrupt, or it can't figure that out, or it would fall back to its, well, I'm assuming back to the default config that's hard coded into. Okay. And then, so that's great. Yeah, great logic. One of the items that you'd mentioned was that MeshSync, it might need future enhancement might be that MeshSync would every so often go reread from the custom resource data to see if the configuration had changed. And yes, for sure, because it is the case that users might want to throttle it up or throttle it down for a particular period of time for some certain use case. Eventually, it is, and this would get really hairy, but if we wanted to do that on a per user basis, I don't know that we want to take things that far. Certainly per user, if multiple users are signed into Meshery, which many of you sign into the Meshery playground and use that environment, that's wonderful. That's what it's there for. As you're looking at the dashboard and you're seeing updates from Kubernetes, you might be interested in a particular segment of that, which is different than the other user and the other. That can be controlled between Meshery UI and Meshery Server. Between Meshery Server and MeshSync, probably as a lower priority, potentially we could have a more sophisticated broker topic system in which I don't think that we should go do that. And I really shouldn't have mentioned this. The reason I was bringing it up was more like to mention that from my perspective, it would seem like the operator, Meshery operator, would be when it receives or since its account, it should be the entity that's responsible for watching that updates to the CRD or to the custom resource and then informing MeshSync. And so this is just a rephrasing of the exact thing that you had said, which is when there's a config update, that should take effect. Who should be watching for that? Or perhaps it's the operator that then informs MeshSync. But either way, the net result is the end. And maybe I'm off target on that, by the way. So there's certainly pre-established conventions that operators and custom controllers follow in this regard, because this isn't a new. So are you aware of that pre-existing convention?
Exactly. What I was saying was, I know the function of the operator is to do updates and react to whatever is happening on the custom resource. Now, what I was saying was MeshSync is not aware of such changes. So we needed, or rather a future enhancement would be, how can we propagate this information from the Meshery operator that knows of the change in the configuration of the custom resource through MeshSync? And I think you've also kind of alluded to the answer a bit there, because one of the things that MeshSync does is subscribe to events. So it could also subscribe to a similar event, and then within itself have corrective mechanisms to go back and reread the configuration. Yeah.
Yeah. So refresh me. We're using KubeBuilder as our base for the operator, KubeBuilder, or are we using the operator SDK?
KubeBuilder.
Okay. Yeah, I wonder.
Although
I mean, it's confusing. It's like super
hard to
confusing.
tell. Yeah. They're interlinked. Underneath, actually, operator SDK is built on top of KubeBuilder, so very hard. Yeah.
I shouldn't have phrased the question like that then, because it's sort of, very much so. There's one other item that it's important enough to spend a little bit of time on, and that is the concept of, the configurability of the pipeline. There was like a global config, a local config, and can you articulate the difference there for us?
Okay, so I think what I have seen as I'm going through the code is no. Let me get back to that. Is I picked it up from the current infrastructure, what it supports. So let me get back to you on specifically what global and local means in terms of the actual resources.
Nice, very good, very good. Yeah, hopefully something with respect to like tiered discovery. maybe we'll see if your research, if you find that terminology, tiered discovery or not. Very good. Anybody else have thoughts, comments for Daniel? Daniel, we had the operator when last time I went to upgrade the operator package in Meshery server. Meshery server fell on its face. But in this case, for you, that's not happening, right? You've done end-to-end testing here with Meshery server.
No. What the bit that I've done is just the test that involve the mesh operator just by itself, and also mesh sync by itself. If I may, okay, maybe if you point me towards, I think maybe we are stuck on different things. You can point me towards which test you mean, and then I'll confirm.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah. And Antoinette, you're on the call.
Because
There.
my understanding of that question is, do you mean I need to update the version of mesh operator on the server and then test with that?
Yeah. In Meshery, its go.mod has a dependency on the mesh sync package and the Meshery operator package. I think the latest version of the operator is like 6.14 maybe. And
so for this case, yes, this is the one I mentioned in Slack. There's a failing test, and the primary reason is we've updated the core Kubernetes packages to 0.28 on mesh operator and mesh sync. And then when you try and update that on the server, which still has 0.26, it fails.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Well, is that on your list?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was a PR that was on my list.
Nice. Good. Saruchi, I think you're up next. Do you want to discuss this PR?
So
And
this
you might.
is my. Am I audible?
Yep, you are.
Okay. So this is my PR. It's for Meshery.io. So basically, it has a bug which is flickering in default dark theme. Like when we reload the site or visit to some other page, then other page of the site, then it flicker to light theme first before going to dark theme. So this is with PR, and yeah. So I have 3 of the 5 that were changed. Okay. So firstly, in the footer, there was a function which is in the script which was basically doing the toggle thing. So I separated it in a separate file under the assets folder for maintaining the theme of the site. And then in the header, basically what was happening is that instead of basically this function, this toggling function was not running on the top when the site was loading. So I added it here in the body first. Like if it is dark mode, then it should remove the light mode, and if it is light mode, then it should remove the dark mode. So these were my changes, and I would like someone to review this PR and let me know like what are the other contexts that I should think, because still this bug is not fixed, right? It's still here.
Just to recap, you're saying of the changes that you've done, they do not correct the bug?
Yeah, it didn't. No, it didn't correct the bug. Like Sudhanshu told me that the Meshery docs have also the same issue. So try to look on that code. So I looked on, and like they like someone has done similar to what I did, but in my case, the bug is not fixed. So yeah, I would like to know some other context that I should think on.
Yeah, feedback or suggestions for Suruchi?
I'd like to ask for, I guess, a clarifying question, somewhat similar to what Lee just commented. This issue was, this PR is made, but a bug wasn't fixed, correct? And the contributor would like to move on to a different issue. I might propose that maybe consider staying on an issue and collaborating with someone who might have also asked for the issue to be assigned to them, or just ask if somebody wants to work on the issue with you and stay on it. This might also avail a learning opportunity instead of just moving on to a different issue. Just a suggestion.
Suruchi, I don't know if that resonates. Just a quick side note from the peanut gallery from me. It seems like solid advice, just both for as a general piece of advice for individuals, to stick with the thing that's super challenging, and then for potentially for the project as well. I'll make one comment here, and it's not with respect to Suruchi at all. It's just a general statement that there's like a lot of things that I do in life, or that I set out to do. I might volunteer to go do something or set out with the best of intentions, and then life happens, and for one reason or the other, I don't get it done. But I don't necessarily come back to clean up my mess, as I've made an attempt. And to relate that analogy to what happens in the community is that folks will incidentally or accidentally squat on issues that are assigned to them because life happens. Either it was hard, or it was way too easy, or they got distracted, and so, yeah, just a related note. But yeah, good. So Suruchi, there's a websites meeting on Monday. That's also a good one to solicit collaboration from folks with. We've definitely dealt with a number of flickering issues, not just on Meshery.io, but the other sites as well. And so, yeah, it's good. It's good. Thanks for this, Suruchi. Ayush, you're up next. You've got another one. All right. Ayush, are you with us? If he is, maybe we'll come back. Let's see. I know we covered part of this last time we met, I believe. Yeah. All right. Ayush, you there? All right, Antoinette, you're up next.
All right. The first thing I want to bring up is the open issue about removing lit phrase in the package JSON. I realized I had an open issue to investigate, making sure that video worked in both of them, well, in all of the environments, regardless of what it is that you use. And so there was somebody raising, I can't remember, but somebody raised an issue to suggest to remove, to modify that particular script in the package JSON. And then I realized that that might have been a small reason why that the linting was kind of conflicting with each other. So I removed it from package.json because we already have it in the link stage file. So that should take care of that, but I'm still going to keep this ticket open to track anybody else that's having issues with the formatting and the linting and whatnot. Because like I said, I want to improve it, but the only way I know if I get more feedback. So that should take care of that small part, but please just let me know if something else like messed up right after this, and then I'll start to fix it after that. So
Nice. Yeah. Yash Sharma, this might be a good one for you to give some feedback on, or to do a quick test of with respect to Meshery UI. Yeah. Killender, you might want to offer up some thoughts as well. But sounds like there's at least a 90% confidence level from Antoinette that it'll work. There's like a 10% chance that it won't, I suppose, but good. Hey, Antoinette, does that mean educate me if you would, for those, or currently for those that are contributing to Meshery UI, and to the extent that there's a pre-commit hook, is this is lint staged and executable then that needs to be installed on their system? But is this just super common and part of a lot larger package that people would already have? Or does that just get installed by default with the NPMI?
it depends. In this case, what we previously had was let me make sure. So we already installed link saves, we already installed Husky. Husky set up the pre-commit, which is the executable that you see in the .husky directory. That pre-commit already has that particular command to link save anyway. So we're kind of already doing it again in package.json, but since I already moved that to link saves, and so that would take care of that part. So we're moving it out of package.json. We're just doing the same thing. It's just removing that possibility is running twice whenever you make the commit, because I saw one of the open discussion on the discourse that it was running on a particular file when it's not supposed to. So I'm thinking that's the cause of it, but if there's an issue with the turtle spaces, I'm not exactly sure. It could be a conflict on the length versus the prettier, but the problem for me is I can't exactly replicate whatever, because mine is different. Like I test in 3-4 different environments. So in order for me to actually see, it would be great that you provide the screenshots, the output, whatever it is, so I can see what it was trying to run through. But for me to reproduce it, it's kind of hard for me to, because I have like so many different, yeah. It actually, is that reading through main? Yeah, actually, I'm not sure about if it worked in main W64 and also Tigwin. I actually don't think that we're not even testing in that environment, are we?
I don't
Okay,
think so.
so yeah, so just make sure that we use Windows, Linux environment, native, anywhere from Ubuntu to Fedora. Should be okay with Fedora, but we mainly use Ubuntu because that's our workflow. Our CI workflow use Ubuntu, and you can also use WSL2. So, but in Mac, but anything with Cygwin and we normally, not all of us really use it, so we can't really account for certain feature that might be missing. So yeah, but yeah, let me know if it works. If not, I'll test it again and try to figure out what the other issue is.
It's very good. And I think Rowan was on earlier, but I guess he's not on at the moment. So, all right. Are we ready? Anything else, Antoinette? Or
Just a reminder about the system design system. I understand there's an issue with the storybook. I have an open issue on it, specifying the problem. The way it works is that you have like the packages, and you can't have the same packages in different projects. And so what happens is whenever you try to install in a mono repo, it try to pull everything together. So it is running into this issues of, hey, you have one copy of this and you have another copy of this. It's the same thing everywhere. So what I'm trying to do is to avoid that in the future so that anybody who comes to contribute, you know, hey, you shouldn't be facing this. But hopefully I get that done sometime today so that people can start contributing to the storybook. I already approved a PR to deploy storybook so that I know when the building happens that if it failed, it happened in the workflow. Because I didn't know until Sudhanshu mentioned it. No, not Sudhanshu. I'm sorry, I failed to remember the name, but it was in Slack. I remember, and I thought to myself, I thought I already figured that this issue, but the issue came back when we added the movie data tables. The type definition relies on a different emotion react package where we use a different one. But anyway, it's gonna work. So any if you felt like there are any issues, just let me know. Straight open issue, and we'll go from there.
Wonderful. All right. Saurabh, you've got next item.
Yes. So hi everyone, today we have really exciting announcements. So before going through that, let's just know what is Discuss Form. Most of you might all know already, but a Discuss Form is your go-to place if you are stuck with some problem, you have question or queries. So feel free to put your questions, queries, or problems on the Discuss forum. You can also use / commands to trigger your Discuss forum operations. So it will create a transcript to post on the Discuss forum. So now let's get to it. So I hope it is not getting in the way. So we have top contributors on the Discuss forum. First is Yash Sharma. This Yash Sharma is not who we have as a mashmate. This is the other Yash Sharma who have received most likes. Next up, we have a Saurabh Singh. Saurabh Singh is the reason we have got a most solution on our Discuss forum. And next up, we have a Suruchi Kumari. Suruchi Kumari is also the one to get the first Hacktoberfest patch, and she has created the most posts in our Discuss forum. Next up, we have people who have got Hacktoberfest badges. Yes. So kudos to all of them. Suruchi again is the first one to receive the Hacktoberfest badge. Then we have Akhilendra, Akshay, Atre, Omar, Parthiv, Pranav, Hoser, Vivek, Abid, Yash, and me. So if you guys are here to participate in Hacktoberfest, please do, and you can also get this Hacktoberfest badge. For most of the people who are wondering where should I get started, so I will just share a link. This must be somewhere here. So through this link, you will get most of the Hacktoberfest related issues you can contribute to. And next up, while everyone is happy, we have someone who is not happy, which is 5. So why 5 is not happy? So 5 needs stars on GitHub on a GitHub repository Meshery/Meshery to get his rocket going to reach where he's supposed to be. So we will be needing your support to get 5 going through the stars on our Meshery github.com/Meshery/Meshery. Thank you. I hope Lee is there.
Can be discussed.
Yeah. Go on.
Yes, as you saw that I raised PR for Prometheus Postgres icon.
Okay.
As I tell that I am commenting pull request in chat section, and I also share a screen.
Okay. Did you mention it here already?
Yes.
Okay.
I mentioned it, and this PR I raised for Postgres autoscaler, and Lisa tell that its icon is elephant, and I changes those files that are for that these are icon that for color.
Yeah. Hey, Ayush, let me interrupt you. And let me interrupt you if I could just for a moment. we are
I'm telling
we're
that
not having a good. Can you Ayush? Can you hear me? Mr. Gupta, are you there?
yes, sir, yes.
Oh, very good. We are. Your bandwidth is having a struggle.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
And outside of that, I think we just. I
Sir,
got a
your
call.
voice is breaking.
Yep, probably your bandwidth that's causing my voice to break up. We're having just a communication breakdown on what is being asked here. This is not what we're looking for in many ways. And this is the second or third PR from you where we're trying to help give you that guidance. And we should probably, my suggestion is that let's get you onto a new type of issue. Otherwise, I think we're just going to keep spinning our wheels, and it'll become frustrating for you at some point when things like this happen. Close. I'll provide an explanation, but we'll probably close this one out. Let's find you some new types of issues. See if we can get you set you up for success. I'll circle back with you in Slack to help tie off and make sure you're okay. Make sure you have an understanding as to what's going on. In the last 10 minutes, let's see if we can. Next topic is environment. So we've got Sonali, Yash, and Pranav. Don't all
Nare,
speak.
would you like to give a demo, or should I talk about it?
Okay. So now we have the feature in environments. So environments are a representation of a collection of resources. So user can allocate the connections for environment. So this is the new UI for that. So anyone can create a new environment and allocate any resources like connections for that environment. So like we can save those connections, and later if you want you can remove. So this is the new update about environments.
Yes, so a little bit of context for everybody. Environments are way of grouping your different connections. So like Sinali gave a very good demo about how to use them. I'll quickly give a conceptual information about what the thing is. So I'll share my screen. Hopefully it's visible. So this is one of the slides which will get posted on the documentation. So basically we will be focusing on this area of the slide, that is environments. Environments helps you manage your different types of resources. Meshery, whether they are registered by Meshery or they are like seen by Meshery in a cluster, which this is very much related to what Daniel was talking about a few minutes ago. So whenever you run Meshery in any of your clusters, Meshery automatically detect different infrastructure which is either running in your environment or your cluster. Once Meshery detects that, then you can manage them in different way. One of the connection which you would be very much aware of is Meshery can connect to Kubernetes cluster. So that's a connection. You can group your different number of connections to inside of an environment. Then what this will help you is that whenever you log into different Meshery servers, you will have access to the same environment, and then you can use your already existing connections. Then this environment can further be grouped in the form of workspaces, which you can share between your teams. So this is a little high level overview of what Sinali was just giving a demo. And yeah, so now you can, like, this is already exposed into Meshery Cloud, which is one of the remote provider. Very soon it would be exposed as an extension point in Meshery UI. So you can directly go into Meshery UI and see all the environments. And same thing would be true for workspaces. Yes, that was about it. Any questions?
I've got one. So just a forewarning, I have a question of some other people, and the reason I'm asking the question is to just help everybody understand and grok the concepts. And so, Husaina, if you're there, there's this new concept of environments, and I wonder if, just as you go to digest this, if you think that environments should be something that's exposed within Meshery CTL. It's fair to say that you don't have an opinion.
Earlier we were exporting them as part of environment variables, right? Like, and whatever we set or we export, there should be a way to fetch and show it to the user. That's what you're suggesting, right? So by adding another sub command or something like that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, actually, this is confusing. Actually, it's a different type of environment. So not, not the terminal environment, or not that user's session per se in the CLI, but rather a new construct inside of Meshery itself, where people might, as Meshery manages these various elements, that people might group those managed elements into like the production environment, the staging environment, the develop, or they can group them into whatever.
Okay. So it would be part of the config YAML file eventually, right? Whatever we write, it should be.
No, it's very similar to patterns, like patterns and performance results. Like when we do Meshery CTL performance results, we get different sets of results. Similarly, for environments, if there is a new subcommand, then it will give an option of different results, which it can fetch from an API from Meshery server. So
okay,
it's like that.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that was as much of an honest question for me. I could see an argument against exposing of environments in Meshery CTL. That not that it's a negative, but perhaps that there's an opportunity cost for spending time on other higher priority items in Meshery CTL. I don't know. Like actually, to the extent that someone might begin to put certain managed elements or managed connections into groups, into environments through the CLI, that maybe we should first start with the ability to manage connections as a first class thing in Meshery CLI, and then move on to environments if that makes sense at that point. And so, yeah, I don't know that we've got great APIs for mesh sync, actually. So the topic that Daniel was presenting on earlier, and maybe this is a point of interest for Husaina as well, I'm not sure. Most of all of the mesh sync data, all the data that Meshery collects from Kubernetes, well, it ends up in a local database in Meshery server. It's a SQLite database at the moment. And we're really lacking APIs to expose that mesh sync data, to expose all the info of those clusters. And gosh, so in some respects, sort of answering my own question, it seems like there's a couple of steps that we would have to take in order to actually expose and let people control environments. We first need to let people, we need to expose and let people control connections. But before we sort of do that, perhaps of all of the things that we discover via mesh sync, we're in need of some APIs there. So Daniel and Husaina could be points of interest for either of you. So this would be inside of Meshery server. But, think about it. Think on it. Good. Okay. So thanks. Any other thoughts or comments to offer on environments? So for some of us, it's still like, okay, for some of us, it's like, okay, I get that, like, maybe you'd have a production environment and a QA environment. Like, okay, but I get that sort of conceptually, but how are these things, how is Meshery really going to use these things? Like, yeah, there's probably some more, there's the start of an explanation of that, but there's probably more. And you were just showing a visual diagram, Pranav, that show how environments were. I wonder if there's a version of that diagram that we might do well to place here. So, okay. All right, well, good. So next up, so we've got, oh, we're right at the hour. Hussein, were you going to add an item, something? I thought I heard you.
I'm still looking into that issue on the discussion forum about the error handling part.
Yeah, thanks. You were, what would you say? You were really quick to respond. Thanks for that. Yeah, I guess, I don't know if it's, I don't know if it's an OS thing or if it's a browser specific thing, but yeah, it didn't seem to it didn't seem to behave as we were expecting, right? So.
Yeah. Seems like some library related error code shown up. So I still have to look into it. What exactly?
Nice. Yeah, fair enough. If at the end of the day we decide that, like, hey, let's just not support that, if that one is detected, or if we attempt to open the browser and we get something back other than exit code 0, then maybe we just say that's too bad, or we're sorry about your browser, but. All right, well, we're right at the top of the hour. Did anyone else have an urgent item that needed to be handled today? So this week, so today's the 11th. This week, we definitely have the newcomers call tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, a couple of hours, well, an hour before this meeting starts. And then at the end of, at this time right now, sorry, I'm getting my meetings confused. Pranav, tell the good folks what to expect tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, tomorrow we also have Meshery build and release call where we discuss different issues related to integration test, CI/CD, and other stuff. It's at 10:30 p.m. or 11 or 12 p.m. of the Central Time. Right? Yeah, I think.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Tomorrow's the biweekly build and release call. So if you're into DevOps or GitHub Actions or testing or automation, or there's lots of stuff that goes on there. So, and Pranav is your host, so you don't have to listen to terrible jokes. Okay, well, happy 11th, everybody. Thanks for presenting today, Daniel. You might be today's MVP. Still waiting on some numbers from you, but Daniel, it's good work. And that was, it was a fairly quick turnaround too. So thanks, man. That's great. Yeah, all right, fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, well, we'll see everybody on tomorrow's CI call, for the newcomers call.
All right, bye everybody. Bye.
Bye,
Have a
everyone.
good evening.
Bye.